Ben Collins for 20 says, my moderately autistic brother started a YouTube channel. Would mean the world to him if you'd review his cooking video, less than 60 seconds. I have a feeling that this is a trick Aruski. Let's see. Oh, Patrick Tomilson, your little brother. Okay. Let's see. Traditional ramen breakfast tea.
Patrick Tomilson here to show you how to make a quick and easy breakfast and lose all of your English and Asian friends at the same time. Step 1, get some water boiling. Step 2, drop some ramen in there. Oop, yeah, don't want that. Don't want that. Yeah, throw the flavor packet out, won't need it. Step 3, get a big cup and a nice strong breakfast tea. Step 4, pour those noodles right in the teacup. There we go. Step 5, allow it to seep for 45 minutes, stirring occasionally, add milk. And now you're ready to enjoy your traditional breakfast ramen tea. Oh my God, it's so bad. Don't ever do this. No one ever do this. This is terrible.
Is this actually his account? Is this really him? Is he really doing this? 5 years ago? What? I thought he had resorted to trying and, oh my God, this is where all those pictures of Patrick come from. It's from these videos on his old YouTube channel. Back when he still had some vigor. There's a comedy special by Patrick Tomilson from 8 years ago. Do we dare? Do you guys want to listen to Patrick Tomilson do comedy? I kind of feel like we should. Comedy Club on State.
Keep it going for Jake, everybody. An Aryan wet dream come to life. There he is. Just saying, if the Nazis had won World War II, he'd be on posters right now. That's all I'm saying. You know.
Gay Nazi joke. Okay.
So, my name is Patrick Tomilson. I'm really glad you all came out tonight. We drinking tonight, Madison? Yeah. Yes! Of course we are. We're Wisconsin. That's what we do. I was driving down to Chicago a couple of days.
I mean, I guess my only frame of reference for Wisconsin is Red Letter Media. So they do drink. I have no refutation of this.
Ago, and if you haven't been there for a little bit, they have these big electronic billboards over the highways now that display these messages like, oh, 573 deaths on Illinois highways. I'm like, oh, good, they're keeping score. I hope they beat the high score. I'm really pulling for those guys down there, you know.
I mean, the joke, like, doesn't, I don't know, it kind of falls flat because it's like, yeah, the Department of Highway Safety does keep track of deaths. Like, that's their job.
Illinois sympathizers in here? Jeez.
Ooh, he's already like bantering with the chat, or not the chat. What do you call a chat, but in a real life chat? Is that an audience? Do you refer to them as the audience or the chat? Well, he's yelling at the chat for not laughing at his jokes already. It's not a good sign.
I don't know, but driving in Wisconsin's just a different animal. Like, I drive all over the country for this stuff. I do this. I'm an author. I go around to cons and stuff. And in Wisconsin, you see things you don't see everywhere else. Like, in any other state, you may not know this, but the billboards that, like, Mothers Against Drunk Driving put up, they say, make sure to use a designated driver.
We got somebody leaving.
Our billboards say, make sure to designate a sober driver. Because you all kind of lost the thread on what a designated driver was, apparently.
Is his entire set about, like, drunk driving and people dying on the highways? Is that what he finds funny? Every morning, Patrick Tomilson wakes up. He skips past the funnies in the newspaper and goes straight to the obituaries and starts reading 45 died, leaves behind wife and children, hit by drunk driver, and just like, fuck you, bitch.
You don't designate a driver based on which one of your drunk friends hasn't had his first DUI yet. That's not actually how you're supposed to do it. Hey! Who doesn't currently have an interlock device on their car? Gary, you're up. Not supposed to do it like that, apparently. And Like because there's that whole thing that the Department of Transportation is putting out. It's like 0 in Wisconsin. It's like 0 deaths on Wisconsin roadways. Something we can all live with. That's the slogan. Like I don't want to be the guy whose job it is to make that become a reality. I would set way more realistic goals. I'd be like, hey, Wisconsin, maybe don't shake dice for shots tonight. Like maybe just fucking calm down, you animals. Nobody else does that.
I can't believe. I'm actually really surprised that his entire thing so far is just like, our roads are really unsafe because of drunk drivers, and they're trying to change that. The fools.
Anywhere in the country. So, who here is in a relationship, everybody?
No, this is definitely the worst stand-up I've ever seen. Is a lost media clip. I've talked about this before years ago, but there are multiple A-log stand-up videos. The one that's still around is not the worst one. There was an even worse Anthony Legato stand-up video where he, for real, like in 2009 or whatever, asked a live audience of normies at a stand-up club if anyone has ever heard of Chris Chan. Like, even today, that would be awful. Just the worst fucking thing I can imagine. But at that time, it's like unthinkable that this retard Spurg has so little theory of mind that he doesn't realize that spending an inordinate amount of time stalking Chris Chan on the internet is like not something that any normie understands. That's the worst stand-up. And there's like legit like people leaving, and he's like asking people live why they're leaving, like in the middle of this video. And honestly, nobody's been able to find this, despite I've talked about it for years. It might be a hallucination. I can't tell if this is something that I made up and is like a figment of my imagination, or if this is like a real thing that once existed.
Who here has been in a bad relationship? The rest of you, good, okay. Who here learned after the bad relationship to prioritize what's in the inside over physical beauty?
Oh, we got one.
Ugly table in the back. I'm kidding. I'm sure you've all got great personalities.
A lot of his set involves like ribbing the audience, the chat, and that's kind of risky if you're Patrick Tomilson.
You got to go with physical beauty because you know what you're getting. It's right there. There's no way to fool it. What's on the inside can screw you up years later. Let's give you an example. Like physical beauty's never going to do you like this. You're never going to be waiting outside of a Kohl's changing room for your wife, and she comes out and she's like, "Honey, do these yoga pants make my ass look like it's going to leave you after 9 years for no apparent reason?" And then emotionally manipulate you into giving up the rights to the child who's growing in her womb even now.
That happened. There's no love.
That's something yoga pants do? Oh, well, they're on sale. We have enough Kohl's cash, so we're getting these. Oh, I guess we are. So I'm divorced.
That's actually funny. Like the entire thing before that's not funny, but him just saying like, "Yeah, I'm divorced" after the fact is really funny.
I hate that woman. I just hate her, and I don't like the way we abuse the word hate these days. We use it, we overuse it.
That's overkill. Like okay, even it's one thing when you're self-deprecating. You're like, "Yeah, I'm divorced and I've had issues," like that's funny. But when you start like actually seething about, like he actually did a funny joke, and then he like I think he's mentally he can't handle just self-deprecating, so now he's like going to explain how much he hates his ex-wife, and it's like, buddy, we're not therapy.
Has no meaning. Like just the other day, I was in line behind a young lady in a Starbucks, and the barista asked her, "Would you like a shot of peppermint in your frappa mochaccino or whatever the fuck it was?" And she's like, "Oh God, no! I hate peppermint. I just hate peppermint." I'm like, "Really? You hate peppermint? Did peppermint leave you so 3 months later you could marry your friend Spearmint? Is that something that happened to you?"
That also happened. That's a real story.
Prevented you from seeing your little candy cane for the last year and a half? Is that going on in your life?
Oh, that's awkward. I know that happened to him. There's a picture of his wife with his best friend at like a Christmas at a Christmas club or something. That's extremely awkward.
Did you spend an entire week wrestling with whether or not killing Peppermint was going to be worth the jail time? Is that something that's... No? Well, you don't hate Peppermint. It's just not your thing. Thank you, everybody. My name is Patrick Tomilson.
Woo!
Tomlinson next to the stage, number 8, if you're following along, Nick Lynn.
Well, I'm glad that he found a healthy outlet for his frustrations instead of taking an axe and butchering his wife and child. Cool. Excellent. That was a nice detour. Happy to hear that your mildly autistic brother is doing well, Ben Collins.
Thank you for watching this clip by Colonel J. This is the King of Bold here. Remember to like and subscribe. Juice!